bringing the show to you today, both on Facebook Live as well as our standard Facebook Wealth Warrior page. Have I got a show for you? Oh, yes, I do. How did they get it so wrong? This is a special report about women-owned businesses, and actually it is based on not I can't believe I'm saying it. It's actually based on a program, a TV show, actually on Netflix. And what I'm going to talk to you about is the commentary that was written about that show in Inc. magazine. It was quite a dynamic discussion. We're going to talk about it today in the light of the fact that this week is Small Business Week. It is about small businesses. So it's kind of putting an exclamation point on what we've been talking about, what we talked about during the month of April, and that is specifically entrepreneurship. And I am so jazzed to actually flow right into that. So we extended April a little bit over into May so that I could bring you some of the commentary of what's going on. U.S. Small Business Week has been quite an extraordinary week. I hope that you had an opportunity to participate in some part of the celebration of small businesses. And I hope that it codifies for all of us that entrepreneurship is a main staple in wealth. Is a main staple in wealth. And given the climate that we're in right now, it is so pivotal that we be a part of our own destiny. Dictate your destiny. Dictate your destiny. It is critical. So I'm going to start out by acknowledging those individuals that have joined us on Facebook Live. We're going to do some shout outs, talk about some sponsors. We've got announcements, and then we have a special report. So let me get started by acknowledging and giving some shout outs. And I want to give a shout out to Albertha Bogan, who was with me yesterday at Boston Speaks Series. Also, Nikita N. I'm going to learn to pronounce her last name, so I apologize in advance, Nikita, but I got the first name right, who was with me. Kit Pang, who is the founder of Boston Speaks Series. What an awesome time we had yesterday. The topic was superb, had a lot of fun, met some great people. So I want to give a shout out to all of the great people that I personally had an opportunity to speak with yesterday. Every first Friday, that is an entrepreneur's event that is a must. If you are in Boston, Massachusetts, you should be physically there, or any place in Massachusetts, New England for that matter, you should be there. And if you're not able to be there, join it live the first Friday of every month. So I want to give a shout out to Kit on that one. Robin Tennille, thank you so much for being with me for the first edition of Open Office Q&A with Brent Harding. That's Open Office Q&A with Brent Harding that occurs every Thursday evening. And from 7 to 7:30, we are live. And then from 7:30 to 8:30, I'm in the office to sit down with you in person, answer questions that you might have about your business. Also, just to go over some of the docs, I always give the disclaimer, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a tax preparer. What I am is somebody that's been in business for 20 years, so I've been through the hard knocks, and I can at least give you the right questions to ask them, because guess what? Time is money. Also want to give a shout out to Edward C., who was also on the Open Office with me. Terrific night. We'll be doing it again the Thursday evenings, always at 7 p.m. live. Open Office Q&A with Brent Harding. Okay, I want to share with you the sponsor of today's show is Richard Taylor, who has authored an amazing book. He is a developer. I have known Richard for so many years. I'm not even going to tell anybody how many years I've known him, but he's doing a book signing on May 11th. The details for that can be found on LinkedIn. Just go look up Richard Taylor on LinkedIn. You will get all the details about that activity on May 11th, which is a Thursday. And yes, I know you're going to have a little bit of conflict. It starts at 6 p.m. So at 7 p.m., you could be watching me live. How about that? All righty. I want to, again, say thank you to him for that. we have for you on the show today. Again, I'm going to be talking about a special report. So this is a commentary report. It has to do with women in entrepreneurship. We will have announcements during station breaks. We will also have the upcoming show, and we will be wrapping it up. We are on until 10 o'clock this morning. If you have any questions, by all means, put them in our live feed so we can go ahead and answer them during the show. And let me acknowledge Bridget Edward Beckles. Yes, I'm sorry, let me say it correctly. Bridget Edwards Beckles. So great to have you with us. I saw Kit chimed in. Also, Marcellus, oh my goodness, Marcellus, I am delighted to see you. And thank you, Robin Tennille. I got to tell you, Robin rocks. Thank you so much for putting that in the feed. And we will get this party underway. How about that? All righty. There is a new show on Netflix. I don't know how long it's going to be on there, called Girl Boss. And I have to tell you, I am so blown away by an article that I read in Inc. magazine. By the way, Inc. magazine is a must resource for anybody that is in business. If you are in business, whether you're in a small business, a large business, an entrepreneurial business, Inc. magazine should be a main staple along with our business journals. And the article is about, it's actually called Girl Boss. Get it, how did they get it so wrong? And it's actually a show about women entrepreneurs. I was jazzed when I started looking at the article, and I'm going, well, wait a minute, what do you mean, how did they get it wrong? Ladies, we are in motion. We are moving hard and fast, and it is exciting, absolutely extraordinary. 2017 is the year of woman. Now, fellas, please know this. By no means am I saying that you are discounted. Not at all. However, the ladies need some time too. We need to be up on the stage as well. See, we work hand in hand. So today's show is actually dedicated to women. However, I'm going to say to you fellas, you want to know how women think and feel about being in business? Guess what? Then you want to watch this because you are our counterparts. So you want to have a clue, an idea of what's moving and shaking us in business. Good morning, Dr. Wright. Glad to have you with us. I do appreciate that tremendously. She's hailing from California, so good gracious, she's up this morning. She is definitely up this morning. So let me tell you a little bit about this show and why it was so pivotal for me to take time to speak to you about it. You get excited. You're going, wow, this is a show about women, and especially after Hidden Figures was such a hit last year. So you went, we're going to get an extension of this great movie is now going to become something that we're going to see and pump up the volume. Well, I have to tell you that the author of the article really hit it hard and fast. First and foremost, the series was created by women producers. It's women stories. So I got jazzed just knowing this is about women, by women, for women, everything about women. And it empowers me. It empowers me to feel terrific about the success of women. And I would hope that it empowers all the women that are watching today, that are in the audience today, that are listening, because truly, we really do need to be empowered. There are not a lot of stories that are about us, that are focused in that we're watching and feeling tremendous about who and what we are, that I got to say this, that are serious, not heavily serious, but we get a lot of comedies. Let me tell you something. We're in business, and business ain't comic. So let me go to share with you question, how did they get it wrong? Because that was really the basis of the article. And what was fascinating about the whole dynamic comes to a woman's story, when it came to discussing women, when it came to a show that was about the success of women, it got turned down. It got turned down by several networks said, no, this isn't going to fly, not going to work. Show about women, women's success. Nah, nobody's going to watch that. Talk about a travesty, especially in light of Hidden Figures, a $20 million movie that has grossed over $240 million worldwide, that was on top for 4 weeks. It was in the top 5 in 2016. And you mean that in this year going forward, we're not able to have shows about women and women's successes? Whoa. I'm just blown away. And anyway, in any case, let me tell you a little bit about the background. Based on Sophia Maruso, who was the producer of Nasty Girl. And Nasty Girl is actually was a vintage clothing line that was purchased online. So it was an online business. 10 years, the owner of this, Sophia, actually ran this business, which she stepped down in 2015. Here's the deal. $300 million in 2016. That company grossed $300 million. You tell me, can women do it or what? Yeah, I know. I'm live today about women. Yes, I am. Just so happens I am one. Go figure. But here's the deal. What was amazing was to see a $300 million company grossing $300 million online business. It happens. It happens to businesses. We know somebody who it happened to 4 times and resurrected himself. I think you know who that is. In any case, the company was acquired by Boohoo in 2017, so it wasn't like she just fell off the planet. But here's the deal. The show is about it's made to be, in my opinion, it's made to be a rags to riches kind of mentality, in that it talks about the messy journey of entrepreneurship, the challenges that women have, and so she's risen to the top, and now it's a $300 million business. That is extraordinary. What was sad is the fact that in a $300 million business, how or why did it go under? You know, I talk a lot about coaching. And the reason I speak about that is because we do not get there by ourselves. We need help. No matter how high up the food chain you are, about who we surround ourselves with. So we may not call it coaching. We might, whatever we choose to call it, there is a central figure in our life that we are communicating with that is able to show us the plays. And so I question what happened in this journey that she didn't get the plays that she needed, that allowed her to continue on, that allowed her to position herself so her business would have been a legacy to pass on to the next generation. Remember, in this space of entrepreneurship, in this space of wealth warriors, we are here to not only make for ourselves, but to pass it on to the next generation. What was interesting about this particular show is how it portrayed us as women. You see, right now, I'm talking to you, strong, confident, determined, discerning. That's what women are. We are. Why? Because we are wearing so many hats. Truly, if there is a woman out there that isn't wearing 7 hats, I'll eat my own. Only I feel about it. And yet, in this show, the main character, the woman that we want to be the shero and the hero, the woman that we want to look up to, portrayed as somebody that is shallow, that is self-centered, that, we're almost, it's interesting, the title is Nasty Girl, because what oftentimes when women are in business, when our truth, we are seen as nasty. We're seen as mean and unkind. And here we had a show that decides that it needs to perpetrate the fact that we are mean and unkind. Wrong. That is not who we are. We are business people. And sometimes it gets feisty. And when it gets feisty, we might have to go toe to toe. Why is it when women go toe to toe, we are viewed as nasty? We're viewed as not nice. No, 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 no. We're handling our business, ladies. Hashtag handle your business. I remember a gentleman who shared that with me and I loved it. Handle your business because that's what we're doing. We don't need to be nasty. We can be effervescent because at the end of the day, when when I owned a consulting firm, specifically a consulting firm, and sometimes I would have to send the gentleman out to close that transaction. And the ladies would get upset. And I would say, calm down, ladies, because I'm the one that signs the check. Gotcha. So, with that being said, let's take a moment for a station break. I want to give you some announcements that are happening during this month of May. So let me get started by sharing with you on May 11th. There will be a travel and beach body party. It's going to be on May 11th. It will be at 180 Old Colony Avenue in Quincy, Massachusetts. That's on Thursday, May 11th. It'll be at the Quincy Innovation Center in the event room on the 3rd floor. Want to share with you that on Saturday, the 13th of May, Pamela Stone will be back. She will be on the air broadcasting with myself, Robin Tennille, and our new ambassadors for the E3 Power Up event that is coming on September 30th to the state of Massachusetts, city of Boston. So we'll welcome them on the show. On the 14th of May, I will be speaking at an event, a Mother's Day event. I will be speaking there as the keynote. Thanks to Debbie Cox. I'm so enthusiastic about that. We'll be dropping details of that event in the feed by Monday. So mark your calendars, however, for Sunday the 14th at 12 noon. I have the privilege of speaking and sharing my story with the audience. We will have Q&A. It is open office Q&A with Brent Harding every Thursday evening. So we will be on the air on May 18th. So I want to share that with you. And of course, Saturday mornings, where are we at 9 a.m.? We are on the Wealth Warrior broadcast. So those are the announcements that we have to date. If you have an announcement that you'd like for us to share on the air, please, by all means, instant message me so that I can share that with you. And by the way, you want to become a regular viewer? You want to join the Wealth Warrior community? You want to rotate the dollars within our community? Then all you have to do is join us by going to the Facebook page, Wealth Warrior Group. Ask to join in. We want you to be a part of us. And by the way, we would like to welcome a new member, Nancy Lewis Hill, who hails out of New Hampshire. I'd like to say, welcome. It's great to have you with us. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, and she put a comment in the feed. So nice to have you with us. A great lady. Met her at Boston Speaks Series event. That happens on the first Friday of every month. You should be there with me. Love to have you as well as the rest of us there. So let me go on and share more about why is this a special report? Why did I want to bring this out? I wanted to bring this out because it's one of the few and first shows about women. And being excited that it was about women and we were getting to share ourselves, our story. I felt that there was more that I wanted to share this with you and move you to action. I want you to reach out to Netflix and say, listen, if you are going to be a part of the process of bringing women into the 21st century and really bringing us in a positive light, and you're willing to have the courage to do that, then let's do it right. So let me share with you a little bit about where they went wrong so you will know how to help them share it. Let's make it a campaign to get positive information, positive stories about women on the air so we can feed ourselves and encourage ourselves. So here's something. It actually perpetrated the negative stereotypes about women, that we are bossy and we are mean and that we really are not that knowledgeable. It gave every perpetration that just wasn't us. How many of you ladies right now on the air are incredible? Hashtag I am incredible. Put that into the feed. Hashtag I am incredible. In fact, throughout the day today, hashtag I am incredible, because we are. Do you realize we're the fastest growing marketplace for business? That small businesses in and of themselves are the main staple in this country for for not only wealth, for jobs, for creating wealth. We are it. We are extraordinary. Needs to be made known. I love it. Thank you, Bridget. I appreciate that. Wonderful. Hey there, Roosevelt. It says Roosevelt, St. Louis. Thank you for joining us this morning. So let me hit it a little bit more. Here was the interesting piece about that show. Was it talked about the fact that it had the main character, we had Sophia, the main character, who is actually based on a true story. And she's got these competitors that are rivaling her. And she is the hero. She's the only one that she's gonna knock every competitor out. You know why? Because all of the competitors they hit every stereotype that you could say about a woman. They hit the stereotype about we're not as bright, we're weak, that we're inexperienced, that we don't have the know-how. And yet, this is U.S. Small Business Week, and women are being identified as the top earners, being identified as the main staples for monitoring jobs, for creating more jobs, for making it happen. And yet you have a show that would portray us as weak, inexperienced, catty, fighting with each other. Not good. Definitely not good. One of the things that is interesting for you fellas is it also stereotypes you. It stereotypes you as not being supportive of us. It stereotypes you as perpetrating all of the negativity about women. And I know that there are far too many. I know Marcellus is an integral, he is a main staple for really making women feel phenomenal about being in business, about who they are. And I know him as a colleague and friend. And so here's my point. We need to be vigilant about telling our stories. We need to be vigilant about sharing ourselves with others. And if you do not know how to do that, let me help you to do that. Because in the light, we find solutions. See, one of the powerful things about women in leadership is if there isn't a solution, then we create one. Here's the deal. If you choose to create one, make sure that you run it by some individuals. I have a great system, a great support system, and I don't walk this road alone. And I encourage you not to walk the road alone. You know why? Because if you do, you only, how do I best describe it? You make it more challenging. It takes you longer to walk down the road. What a coach does is a coach helps you to circumvent the landmines. And in this day and age, time goes by so quickly. We have 24-hour news cycles. So we cannot afford to get it wrong. We've got to get it right. Would you agree? Hashtag get it right. Hashtag the first time. Get it right the first time. So let me go on a little bit more. One of the things that it did was it demeaned women. It demeaned women in tech environments. It demeaned women because it didn't portray us as vigilant. It didn't portray us as smart. It didn't portray us as ingenious. In fact, it was kind of interesting because in some parts of the show, what it did was it allowed us to believe that in order to be successful, we have to steal. It allowed us to believe that in order to be successful, we had to be catty. It allowed us to believe, if we chose to, that there were not better routes to make it happen. And it allowed us to believe that there was nobody helping, that she had to pretty much go this journey alone. Her own mother wit, that she wasn't smart enough and intuitive enough to actually be able to surround herself with strong individuals. Now, that's against the backdrop of a company that actually produces $300 million. But you know, there's an old saying that it's not what you do today, it's how you'll be remembered tomorrow. And what she will be remembered for is she'll be remembered for being a business owner that went belly up, that actually went belly up. How could you go belly up with generating $300 million? How could that happen? How come? Why is it that she didn't surround herself with powerful people so that that did not happen? How come she didn't protect the assets so that that did not happen? You know, sometimes we actually get rather cocky. We get cocky and we forget that we do need to surround ourselves. In fact, I'm going to submit to you that the higher up the food chain you go, the more pivotal it is to not rely on yourself. One of my nuggets, and some of you have heard my 5 nuggets. I'm going to share 2 of those nuggets again with you. Know yourself. Know who you are. Know who you are. That statement, to thine own self be true. Know what your strengths are. Know what your shortcomings are. And then surround yourself with not good people, with great people. And you know how you know how great they are? Because they are willing to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. You know, one of a famous, I'm writing a book and it's going to be about famous quotes by you and I, people that I meet. And one of those famous quotes is, if you want your ear tickled, I'm not the one. People that really have your best interest at heart are going to ask permission to kick your butt. And you, if you're smart, you're going to give them permission to kick your butt so that you get to pass that legacy on. $300 million grossing in 2016, files bankruptcy, and her company gets bought. Was that a testimony to us? Sure, Sherry Tucker Brown, it is good to have you. It is good to have you. I know that is not her story. Be the story of any of us that are watching the broadcast today, and any of you fellas that are supporting us, should not be the case. Should not be the case. Okay, we're going to take a station break, as I like to call it. And during this station break, what I do want to share with you, I want to talk a little bit about a activity that I started last week called Open Office Q&A with Brent Harding. What I'm doing is providing a complimentary service for you to get your questions answered. You have questions about your business. I'm going to tell you what, if I can't get you, if I don't have the answer right there on the air, you better believe the following week I will get you the answers that you're looking for. And we had some great questions. What it's designed to do is to give you an opportunity to ask your questions. I will answer them. And then there are people in the feed that may also have some commentary, some experience that they want to share with you as well. So that what happens is when you go in and you sit down with that attorney, you have a list of questions that are predicated on the responses I've given you so that you can get to the answers that you need to get to, so that you can get that clarity that you're looking for. And then that's from 7 to 7:30. From 7:30 to 8:30, you are able to come in and meet me live. It's by appointment only, but you're able to come in and meet me live. I actually have to give a shout out to Debbie Williams, who was with me live last Thursday, as well as another young lady who I hadn't seen in a long time, Evelyn Sutton. They were both there with me last Thursday evening. So this is your opportunity. your opportunity to get a complimentary service. Now, hear this. Complimentary doesn't mean it's free. It has a value. I am giving that value to you at no charge. Now, why am I saying that in this limelight? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is important for you to know that you have value, that it's not free. There is a value associated with it. Even when you do an event, if you are speaking, you're doing an event and you are taking an honorarium, seat says the value, you accepted the honorarium and they got value from you for this. So if you have a value of $500 and they paid you $100, then you've given them complimentary at $400. That is a value. It is not free. Please, I beg of you, stop using that word free, because it brings us down. Doing stuff for free in our business hat. Now, if you have another hat that you want to put on, no problem. Then you can do that. But in this environment, absolutely not. Hashtag not free. Hashtag complimentary. Oh, I am on a tear this morning. I tell you, because bosses, ladies, we are girl bosses. And I don't want to see any of us diminished by foolishness, diminished by some caricature. And then its producer is a female. Everything associated with it was a female. And I hate to say this, but I just sat there thinking the guys are going, okay, we gave y'all a shot. We said, we're stepping back. You said you can do it. Women rule the world. Women have it going on. And this is what you delivered. Not good. That's why Open Office exists. Open Office Q&A with Brent Harding exists just so we don't do these kind of things. We promote. Yeah, you know what? Entrepreneurship is, in fact, it's a journey. There are times when it is a struggle. And in fact, unless you got the financing, let's say you came here and you self-financed and you had there was just a bucket of money that you could actually partake of. Let's say you did it all yourself. It's still a journey, because we've known too many stories of people that have had all the money and they've lost it. Sometimes it's because their ego gets in the way. That's why you surround yourself with incredible people that are willing to be candid and honest with you. I got to give you the third nugget, because with these first two, without that third nugget, listen to the great people that you surrounded yourself with. Oh my goodness. Are we not seeing that happen? Are we not seeing that played out right now on our news broadcast? I'll tell you what, these days right now, the news looks like a soap opera. Am I right or am I right? Looks like a soap opera sometimes. If you're going to surround yourself with great people, listen to them, because there is wisdom beyond ourselves. We can never learn everything. Sometimes we have different people that can provide us their different resources. One of my buddies that just came up on the air, Edward C. Yay! It's good to have you. Ed is one of my go-to individuals for a specific segment of what I need. I appreciate him tremendously. Robin, another person, great person. Letitia Wright, you've seen her in the feed, great people. Surround ourselves with great people so that our success is to pass it on from generation to generation. Her legacy is she went bankrupt. Went bankrupt. Sophia Amoruso went bankrupt. That's her legacy. Unless she decides to turn it around and tell a greater story. Unless she turns it around and builds from there, her legacy will be she went bankrupt. That will be the commentary. That would be a sad testimony, wouldn't it? That my commentary is that I went belly up and I didn't do anything else to rise from the ashes. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Hey, I want to share with you that we today are being sponsored by a very dear friend of mine, Richard Taylor. has written a book. He has a book signing on May 11th. You can go up to LinkedIn to get details. I am wishing him much success, Richard. Much success. Appreciate you tremendously. Want to give a quick notation. Please mark your calendars. If you're in the Boston area on May 14th, would love to have you join me. I'm going to be speaking at an event. The details will be in the feed by Monday, but please mark your calendar. And if you're again in the Boston area, come join, support Debbie Cox's event. She has a tax-exempt organization. She is doing a fundraiser. So support her by purchasing a ticket, and that will be in the feed. Remember that every Saturday morning, Wealth Warrior broadcast is on the air. And next week, Pamela Stone and Robin Tennille and new ambassadors will be joining us on the air. Okay, let me transition into another topic of conversation, and that is discussing this month, protecting our assets, protecting everything that we own and have. And when I say protecting it, what I mean is if you are intending to pass that on to the next generation, it needs to be secured so that it can be passed on. In fact, you want to be protecting your assets right now. And in order to do that, one of the things that I'd like for all of us to do is inventory our households. Inventory everything from the paintings on the walls to the sculptures that you see behind me. Everything gets inventory. Because ultimately, it's either going to go into a corporation or it's going to go into a trust. You will be living your lives through entities, through your businesses, through your trusts, through your corporations. Is that not huge? When you see it in action, you will be mesmerized. You will sit there and go, oh my goodness, is this living? We want to make ourselves sue-proof. Protect our assets. We need to know what our assets are. We have something to pass on for the next generation. And I'm sharing with you this. A will is not always the way to go. So perpetuate generation to generation. We don't want it caught up in the tax tax environment, in probate, where we end up spending 40-50% we're paying in taxes. Now is the time. This is 2017. Remember the bell curve. We are going into a period that is going to be tumultuous. Now is the time to protect your assets. Now is the time to save every single dime. Because I promise you, if you do this now, 2 years are going to be euphoric. Disclaimer, not an attorney, not a CPA. I'm a reader and I got experience, and I'm putting that experience to use. The question is, are you? Are you surrounding yourself with a team that's going to help you so that you're passing it on to the next generation while you live your life today? Is that what you're doing? Because that's what we're going to be doing for the next 4 weeks actually, every week, starting next week. While we are in the E3 Power Up moment, I'm going to be giving you clues and hints and touching you. A very powerful subject matter, and that is protecting your assets. We've talked about taxes. We have talked about credit. We've talked about entrepreneurship. We beat it to death. Yeah. But I beat it to death because I want you to get in your head that if you want wealth, this is how we make it happen. This is how we make it happen. We learn from each other. I am a guide. I am a coach. I am bringing it to the forefront, and then we're interacting so that we ascertain the wealth and pass it on. We live the lives that we deserve to live because we've done the work. You know, when I hear a person say to me, I am 40 years old and I do not have $100 to invest in something that will create a dividend, that becomes a sad testimony to one of the greatest countries in the entire world to live in. People swim the ocean to get here, and I know I'm on a preach today, but I'll tell you, when I looked at this, when I looked at the article, when I read the information, and I saw that we were not being portrayed correctly in a country that offers so much that people swim the ocean to get to, it just, I had to do a special report and say, I am pleading with us, be successful. Pass it on to the next generation. Again, for the rest of May and the first week of June, we're going to help you to make that happen, to pass it on. Can we do that? Okay. With that being said, I want to take another station break to share with you. E3 Power Up is coming to Boston September 30th. Yes, it is. You are able to get your tickets on Eventbrite right now as we speak. We have general admission tickets. We also have VIP tickets. What can you expect from E3 Power Up? Well, I'll tell you what, you can expect to get educated around business clarity. What's happening in your business? You know, what's interesting is when at the event that I was at yesterday with Alberta as well, and I'm sorry, let me say this, Juanita Grant, I apologize. I should have included you. Yes, you were there virtually. And so I want to make sure I include that. With the folks that came with me, here was something interesting. I heard a number of people proceed to tell me all the things that they were doing, single thing that they were doing in their business. And you know what came to mind? A key item, business clarity. Contingent upon the environment determines what you're going to discuss. If you give me your whole resume, then I don't have any need to talk to you anymore. I got it all. You're not exciting to me anymore. Getting the clarity. So we're going to get some clarity. We're going to share stories about success, stories that are going to be the alternate to this girl boss. We're going to share some stories. We're going to do some interviews. We're going to hear some phenomenal stories. We're going to hear about some models that you can emulate in your business. We're going to validate that entrepreneurship is the best vehicle for you. The theme for this year is hashtag dictate my destiny. Hashtag we are investors. We're going to talk about investments. You are going to be able to do some investing right there on the spot. We're going to talk about your brand. We're going to talk about elevating your game. We're going to talk about being visible. You're going to have activities and action. You are going to be action oriented. You are going to be visible right there on the spot. We're going to talk about coaching and how you can move forward with your business, how you surround yourself. We're going to have ambassadors that are going to be there to help you get to the locations and places you need to get to answer questions about the event so that you don't want for anything. Our platinum ambassador is Robin Tennille, who is with me every single week I'm on the air. I appreciate her tremendously. That's why she is a platinum ambassador. And that leads me to something. For those that would like to be ambassadors for the E3 Power Up event on Saturday, September 30th. If you would like to be an ambassador to this event, there are 10 openings. Only 10. We are interviewing 4 ambassadors, and we actually have 4 people that have submitted applications, so we really should say there are 6 left. We anticipate that they will be selected, but this is a selection process. Would love to have you as an ambassador with us. We're also looking for individuals that would like to do an internship with E3 Power Up. If you are in event planning, if you would like to get some internship credit for that with your school, with your college, or you just want to extend yourself and be part of an award-winning, that's right, award-winning then inbox me for the ambassador application, inbox me for the internship as well. Also, I'm looking for somebody who rocks with graphics. If you rock with graphics and you're in the local area and I can reach out to you, I would like to speak with you. We're looking for, E3 Power Up is looking for some graphic artists that will carry our brand for us. So those are the three things that we're looking for during our station break. I want to come back, circle back on what we talked about today, and give it a wrap. Today, what we're talking about is girl bosses. Are you a girl boss? Are you hashtag girl boss? Are you hashtag strong? Are you hashtag dictating your destiny? Then if in fact that is the case, I'm going to implore you to reach out to the only station that would courageously decide that they would put a show on the air about women and say to them, we need better broadcasting. We need better stories. We applaud the fact that you were the only one willing to do it, but you got to do it better. Because what happened here, you didn't get it right. In fact, you got it wrong. And for these reasons, that's why you got it wrong. We've got to do better. And so I appreciate all of you that are willing to do that. Go up on Twitter, send it, make it a tweet. If you don't have time to write a full email, make it a tweet. You want to see the article, if you want to see the article, inbox me. I will send you the link to that article so we can expedite the process. In fact, I'm actually going to be sending that link out because I want as many people as possible sending something in saying you're not telling our story correctly. We are proud, we are strong, we definitely are girl bosses for sure. And we want you to tell our story correctly. We want you to tell our story like we saw it in Hidden Figures. Be better. That was a phenomenal story. Triumph. Yeah. So with that being said, let me go through the announcements and everything one more time. And we're going to call it a wrap. A little shorter today than usual, but this was, in fact, a special report. I want to again shout out and give appreciation and thanks to Kit Pang from Boston Speaks Series. I apologize, my mouth just didn't work right there. Want to thank my colleagues Albertha Bogan, Nikita N, and Juanita Grant for being with me during the event. Want to thank Robin Tennille and Edward Chatterton, who are on the broadcast right now, for their participation in open office Q&A with Brent Harding, as well as Debbie Williams and Evelyn Sutton, who came on down to the Quincy Innovation Center to be with me. Want to thank our sponsor, Richard Taylor, author, who is having a book signing on May 11th. Go to LinkedIn for the details. Mark your calendars, please, for 5/11 Travel and Beachbody Party at the Quincy Innovation Center on Sunday. Mark it for Sunday the 14th. Brent Harding will be speaking at Debbie Cox's event. Also, open office Q&A with Brent Harding on Thursday the 18th, Thursday the 25th, and every Saturday morning we are here with Wealth Warrior Broadcast. Next week, or the 13th, we will have Pamela Stone and Robin Tennille will join me on the air to talk about what's happening, what's new, and we'll be sharing the agenda of E3 Power Up with you along with the new ambassadors. Join us, join me, join the feed, send the things you liked, the things you want me to talk about. If you have questions and you want me to answer those on the feed, let me know. I'm not a secret agent anymore. And by the way, I do have a newsletter called No Secret Agent. If you would like to get a copy of that and be on the monthly feed for that, inbox me and give me your email address and you will be included on No Secret Agent. It has been my pleasure to be with everybody this morning. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting the show and for keeping me going, because I get jazzed and juiced when you are with me. Everybody, go out today. Don't just be wonderful. Be extraordinary and profitable. And I'll see you next time. Bye now.